Hey, fellow knights, welcome back to another video. So, you guys know, since Disney brought out Star Wars, what was considered as like canon at the time, Disney decided to say that's legends, and they're going with their own canon. And in what's considered now as legends, which is pre-Disney canon, we had two games that and we were going to get a third game about Darth Vader having a secret apprentice and how that secret apprentice turned against him and joined the Rebel Alliance. And those games were called The Force Unleashed. The first game was pretty much the synopsis I gave you, the loose synopsis I gave you. Darth Vader had a secret apprentice, and he turned against Darth Vader, joined the rebellion. Said character died in the first game. Spoiler alert to like an 18-year-old game. And then the sequel came out, and it was to deal with his clone. And I think the only negative thing I have to say about the second game is that it was too short. But both games I fairly much enjoyed. And by the time the third one ended, I it was hinted in game at the ending that there could be a third game. There would most likely be a third game. And then that and of a few other projects, games, or movies and TV shows got canned due to the Disney merger. Which means, even to this day, like 14 years after the debut of Force Unleashed 1, we aren't getting a Force Unleashed 3. And I'm sad about that because I really enjoyed the two Force Unleashed games. I think we, as fans, deserve a third game as a proper ending. Similar argument to how I feel about Sly Cooper, the fifth game. Left us on a cliffhanger, like with the Force Unleashed 2, to serve an ending. And I know Sly Cooper has nothing to do with Star Wars, but just wanted to throw that in there. Why the hell am I speaking about the Force Unleashed? Well, because I saw this article that says that Sam Witwer said that he would shave his head in an instant if that meant he would return to the Force Unleashed. Which Sam Witwer, if you aren't sure, I'm 90% sure he made his Star Wars debut in the Force Unleashed games as Galen Marek, which is known as Starkiller. And he voiced a few other characters throughout the years since then. But he's mostly famous for voicing Starkiller, Darth Vader's secret apprentice in Legends, and Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, Rebels, Maul Shadowlord shows, and Solo Star Wars Story. So what does this mean? Let's read, sorry. Sam Witwer has returned as a dangerously compelling Darth Maul in Star Wars Maul Shadowlord. Set shortly after Revenge of the Sith, Maul is eager to rebuild his criminal syndicate at Janix, a planet seemingly untouched by the Empire. However, before Whitwer stepped into Maul's spidey prosthetics, he played a very different but equally gravely voiced character known as Galen Marek, aka Starkiller. And growing up as a Star Wars fan pre-Disney meant that when creator George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney in 2015, there was a period of mourning over the decanonization of certain stories in the galaxy far, far away. One such story was that of Starkiller, and I can back that up. It was sad when that happened for me. So the Starkiller introduced in The Force Unleashed in 2008 and returned in the sequel 2010 on the PlayStation and Xbox 360 is Galen Marek, a force-sensitive man who is abducted by Darth Vader at a young age and raised to embrace the dark side of the Force. While certainly a popular legend character, Starkiller has many pre-Star Wars characters such as uh, Darth Talon was effectively written out of canon, as though he didn't exist. Alongside Darth Revan, Starkiller is easily one of the Legends characters that fans have long wanted to be brought into canon. They almost got their way with they almost got their wish back when Star Wars Rebels aired, when the Starkiller planned to be introduced as one of Vader's Inquisitors, Force-sensitive killers trained to hunt the Jedi. The, that plan ultimately fell through. I'm kind of happy about that, only in the sense that I do think that Starkiller deserves not to be a Inquisitor. If you've seen the cutscenes of the Force Unleashed games, and slash or played the games, whether that's on the Switch, because they're all on the Switch, PlayStation or Xbox, you will know that you'll at least understand where I'm coming from when I'm saying Starkiller is such a powerful character in himself that I do think him becoming an Inquisitor will dilute the character a little bit. And I I do think that if Starkiller were to go into a Disney's canon, that we usually get the same premise. Even though there's like Inquisitors out there, we that Starkiller is still Darth Vader's secret apprentice. And who knows, maybe Starkiller comes face to face with one of the Inquisitors, right? And just taking this said Inquisitor to school. Who knows? But I do think Starkiller deserves more than being an Inquisitor, if that makes sense. Anyways. However, when Polygon asked whether Whitwer would ever return to the character if Lucasfilm asked, the answer was a resounding yes. Quote unquote, I would shave my head in an instant. Very happy to do so. I love that character, and he's really the reason I'm here. And for those who would win the fight between two characters, Maul versus Starkiller, Weber clarified who he thought the overall champion would be. Said, if they fought, I am very clear that winner would be me. I'm guessing he means Starkiller. Wilbur's time as Starkiller remains iconic, with fans still discussing his character and the possibility he might eventually make the jump from Legends to canon. Whether Lucasfilm will make the jump remains unknown, but if they do, Whitwer is primed as and ready to go. And the first and this is just telling you that the episodes will be coming out by episode, and that the end, the series finale or season finale will be May 4th. So what do I think about this? I do think if they kept Starkiller as Vader's secret apprentice, and even like I said earlier, maybe integrating like an Inquisitor that he may face, like either in their like Disney's version of the Force Unleashed one, or like in between the Force, like maybe like in the Force Unleashed 3, if they want to keep up the continuity a bit, and have it where like he faced an Inquisitor in the Force Unleashed 3. Um, which I need to watch the cutscenes to the Force Unleashed 1 and 2 to see if that will actually like blend well into canon, like well established in the Force Unleashed 1 and 2 into canon. But point is, I do think if they kept the whole premise of him being a secret apprentice, still trained to the rebels, I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a good idea. And the thing about them decanonizing what's considered as legends now. If they do start from the beginning, or say, oh, the Force Unleashed 2 will still remain as canon, or legends, the Force Unleashed 1 will remain as canon, with minor changes in canon, maybe, because I can't kind of see Disney doing that. Maybe one of those minor changes can be, maybe, just maybe, Starkiller fakes his own death. Maybe the ending to the Force Unleashed is altered slightly different. Besides, like him getting killed by the Emperor and Vader, maybe he still gives the other people that were trapped in the Death Star time to escape, knocking maybe Vader and Emperor out. Which I don't know how, like, if that would be a good idea, because Emperor and Vader will be scary. It's supposed to be scary, but Starkiller's the only one who will know. Hey, these guys can like be defeated. But realizing that maybe they'd be too powerful for him to take on right at the moment, he escapes, but chooses to leave his lightsabers there, and maybe like Force uses a Force on a stormtrooper to say that, yeah, we saw Starkiller, we killed him, we burned his body. Maybe the Starkiller can like use the Force on one of the stormtroopers to have the stormtrooper tell him that, which allows Starkiller to fake his own death. I don't know how well out that would be. It will be very much on the execution of how they do it, but I don't know. Point is, I do think, regardless, they should keep the whole like Starkiller being Vader's secret apprentice. I don't think they should have him be an Inquisitor. I think that will muddy up the character a bit, in my humble opinion. But with that said, what do you fellow knights think? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow knights later. And may the force be with us all.